In Psalm 71, the psalmist prays and asks the Lord, God, would you not forsake me until even if I'm in old age and gray hair, as he said, but don't forsake me until I've proclaimed your righteous deeds, proclaimed your righteousness to the next generation. And that's the mandate for the church, that we have a responsibility to look to the next generation and equip them and train them and raise them in a context in which they are followers of Jesus and they're equipped for that journey. And over the last 10 years, we've been developing a ministry model that you've often referred to as the family ministry model. And we've taken a lot of steps in that journey over the last 10 years. We've learned a lot, and we are at a place where we want to take the next step in that journey. So the idea 10 years ago when we developed family ministry was to bring cohesion across each of our ministry areas from birth all the way through to our teenagers. You see, normally what happens in churches is that each of these ministry areas gets left on an island. You've got your nursery, you've got your kids ministry, you've got your student ministry, and sometimes, like in our case, you also have university-age students. But each of those ministries functions by itself. Not only are we ministering to just those kids in that age bracket, but the leaders in those ministries are often functioning in a silo. They're functioning by themselves. And we felt like that wasn't a healthy place for us to be and didn't align with the way that we actually grow and are formed in following Jesus. So the shift that we made then, and we want to retain now and just add on a little bit, is that we brought those ministry areas that were once separate, we brought them into cohesion with one another, where there was overlap from one to the other. We wanted to begin to see this entire formation process as one continuous journey with several different stages. The only thing that we're going to be changing in terms of our philosophy is we're going to be adding on this age group of 18 to 22-year-olds. That represents kind of our university age student, and we believe that that is a really key part of formation in the next generation. And so we're going to include that under the NextGen umbrella. So one of the changes is actually really a simple one. It's simply a change in language. As we've added on this group of 18 to 22-year-olds, and as we think now about the entire age range from birth all the way through 22, who are we talking about? We're talking about the next generation of those that are going to follow Jesus and lead out in the church. And so our way of referring to these ministry areas is simply by saying Next Gen. So when we use the phrase NextGen Ministry, we're talking about ministry that is targeted at those that are birth all the way through to 22-year-olds. So the second change that we're going to make is that we've got to align our staffing structure in order to match our ministry philosophy. So if we want cohesion from birth all the way through 22 as a ministry philosophy, then we've got to have a staffing structure that matches that. And the first big piece that is necessary in order to do it is somebody that oversees, number one, the overall strategy and philosophy for all of those ministry areas, for that entire spectrum of ages. But then number two, someone that can help put those pieces together in terms of collaboration to make sure that we have a seamless process of growth all the way throughout those age ranges. That position is going to be called our NextGen Director. And again, that position is going to primarily focus on two different things. The first is taking the vision and the strategy of the church and applying that in an overarching way to each one of those stages within our NextGen ministry. The second part of it is going to be collaboration. So making sure that each ministry leader within our NextGen ministry they're collaborating with one another to make sure that we know what's going on in the age group behind us, what's going on in the age groups in front of us, so that we can effectively minister to those that we've been tasked to minister to. But also collaborating with those individuals to come up with an overall strategy that effectively teaches and equips this next generation to follow Jesus. The second part of that collaboration is going to be that NextGen Director is going to be able to give individual support and coaching and brainstorming and strategy to those individual leaders in each individual ministry area. Again, we said before, oftentimes those leaders can get on an island, and the things that they're struggling with, the problems that they're maybe trying to solve, the solutions that they're trying to create, they're trying to do that all on their own. This NextGen director is going to be able to come in and provide individual coaching and support so that that person is not on an island and that they can be brought into a team where we're collaborating to give the best ministry plan and execute the best ministry possible in each individual area. Our strategy here at Fredonia Hill is that we want each one of us to give the whole of our lives in apprenticeship to Jesus and participation in his family. And that means that we have a responsibility to teach the next generation what that looks like. Barna has just released some research that has said a small percentage of students in that next generation have a resilient faith. What's fascinating is that the resilience in their faith has been connected to a close and intimate walk with Jesus. Basically, do they know him? Do they know him? Do they walk with him on a daily basis as their friend? And our goal in taking this next step, in viewing this whole range of ages as one continuous process of formation, is to do just that. To set up a structure and a ministry philosophy that aims to equip our students on how to apprentice under Jesus. We want them to walk into their adult lives knowing full well what it looks like to walk with him and be in relationship with Jesus on a day-to-day basis. We want them to walk into the world where they will experience tremendous challenges. We want them to be able to do so ready and equipped with a deep personal relationship with him. And so ultimately, all of the changes that we are making and the changes that you may see pop up in the different ministry areas that are within that next gen area are all aimed at that one thing. And I want you to know that it is going to take every single one of us to do it. Ministry to the next generation is not the job of the professionals, the staff. It is not the job of a few, but it is a job for the whole community. Every single one of us has a role to play in raising the next generation. And as you watch this video, as you think about the changes we're making, I want to also encourage you to pray and ask the Lord, how might he be calling you to rise up from wherever you are and to sow into the next generation that they might walk closely with Jesus.